so just go ahead and switch. Right, so. All right, you want to isolate y. You cannot, okay, so one thing kids keep wanting to do is they want to add the 2. Look, the 2 is within this radical. You cannot go plus 2 plus 2. You guys have to understand your grouping symbols. You guys have to understand parentheses, radicals, squares, powers. This negative 2 cannot be moved. You guys have to know the difference between, whoops, I don't want to write that. This versus this. This negative 2 is a constant outside of the radical. This negative 2 is part of a radicand. It's under the radical. Here you can go plus 2. Here you cannot. So this is not the same. Okay. All right, so how do you inverse operate a square root? Use square. So x squared. And the whole point of an inverse operation is that you come back to the identity, and in this case it's 1. So the radicand just comes out as 2 terms, y minus 2. And now you have a negative 2 constant term that's completely separate from the y. So now you can add, right? So here's your equal sign. So now I can take that over. So I get x squared plus 2 is equal to y. And so that is your inverse function. X squared plus 2. Or y equal x squared plus 2. Okay, here's what you're doing with this assignment is for... Okay, for 3, 11, 14, and 15, you're going to graph the function and the inverse function. You're going to graph them both because then you guys need to have them both. And then we're going to go ahead and prove by that y equal x line that it is the inverse. So that visually you guys understand whether or not you did it right. Okay, so for instance, 3 is this 3x plus 2, right? So you guys can very quickly, right, you can get your y-intercept, your slope is 3, up 3 right 1, up 3 right 1, plot it, and then you have the inverse already done because we solved that. I think it's like x over 3 minus 2/3 or something like that. So on the minus 2/3, you know, it's like 0.7, 0.6. But get the third one graphed, and then, yeah, and then I'll show you guys for 11, 14, and 15. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so remember, you're going to graph the function and the inverse function, both here. 11, function and inverse function, right? This 3 is linear. 11 is quadratic, so you're going to get a parabola. 14... Oh, is a parabola. It just has a shift, an 8 shift. What's 15? It's a radical function. All right. So you can get Desmos on your phone. You can type it in. You can see it. You can type both of them in at the same time. You'll get colors. Just kind of find a point. Don't do like an ugly sketch. Some of you guys will make it really ugly. Don't do that. Like, it has to be neat and pretty so that when you fold it, it's a perfect reflection. Like an IM2, when you would do reflections, you would do that fold. All right, so get those. Let me turn this off. I should have done this separate, but whoopsie.